We have been looking at images of Governor Tim Walz, the Democratic vice presidential nominee, technically soon to be, along with his wife, Gwen. He is sitting one seat over from the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff. We also saw Governor Walz and his wife and their kids. Gus and Hope are with them. I think Jacob Soboroff is like trying to nose in over there. Jacob, can we go to you?
Rachel, I'm close enough. Governor, we're live on MSNBC. How you feeling, sir?
We're excited. It's a pretty important night for Democrats tonight to honor Joe Biden, and I think Gwen and I, the kids, are excited to be here.
Could you ever imagine a night like this, to be here and to be with the second gentleman, to be with your wife, and to be potentially on the verge of becoming the next vice president of the United States?
I don't know. Doesn't every public school teacher imagine being here? No. It's a privilege. It's an honor, and I can tell you this ticket, feeling that energy, just a privilege.
I'll leave you alone, but you were in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania over the weekend. You feel like you guys are going to take Pennsylvania?
Absolutely. I said the energy out there, and to be with those high school kids, to see what that means, exciting.
Governor, thank you very much. Nice to talk to you. Nice to see you as well. Rachel, I think I pulled a muscle trying to do that, but we made it happen.
Well done, Jacob. And by the way, we just got a call from all of the restaurants that still have sneeze guards on their salad bars, and you're barred from all of them. Thank you, Jacob. Well done. Well done. Yeah, he was right over the sneeze guard there. That was so inappropriate and so excellent.
Did you see the staff coming? The staff realized he was live on MSNBC, and it was a train of people coming down to say, hey, how did you get here?
Yes, when you busted out laughing, did we get bunny ears?
From
Gus?
both of his kids.
Yeah. Wow. Most relatable.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is he just doesn't, he seems, I don't know, he seems pretty unflappable. I've just been so struck by someone who went in a very, very short course of time from a relatively obscure national figure to having the amount of attention that he has had. And I think it says something about the sort of preparation and life's work that he's done before this. Someone who is not, I think, gunning to be in that seat, as Jacob sort of alluded to in that question, how comfortable he seems.
I love his answer when he's getting pressed on, I think the line of questioning was about whether the agenda in the record was too progressive, and he just said, what a monster. Mm-hmm. I mean, he has one-liners that, again, to my earlier point,
what a monster. Kids are fed.
I believe kids should have a full belly to learn. It was a bunch of questions about his record as governor, and he just has, I think, a superpower of shrinking the attacks against him, things that have sort of in past eras left strategists in a room trying to figure out what the talking point is to get back against the attack that might be too liberal. And he just said, oh, what a monster. I think kids should be full to learn.
I've been trying to come up with an analogy, or not an analogy, at least a helpful comparison in terms of what other vice presidential pick is like him. And I'm still on home plate, nowhere near first base. Cannot really come up with anybody who he reminds me of in politics who's ascended, as you say, Chris, this fast, but who also brings these particular kinds of talents to the ticket. I'm not saying he's the best vice presidential nominee that we've ever had in this country. I'm just saying I don't know anybody else who performs quite like he does or who he reminds me of.
You know, maybe the closest, and it's a stretch, you're right, so I will stretch it, is Harry Truman, who had this plain-spoken quality about him. But so did the president he was running with. I mean, Franklin Delano Roosevelt had no problem communicating with anyone. But Harry Truman had that Midwestern, plain-spoken thing. He was not an Ivy Leaguer. He was from this whole other world. And that's kind of the closest I think we have to it. But this is unique. This is someone who we really haven't seen at this level of prominence on the national stage.
Well, part of it, too, I have to say, as someone who, no shade on anyone with who are sort of young men or women in a hurry and were, ambitious. I know quite a few of them. Some of the people I love the most in my life. You just didn't get the sense, and this is where I think the Truman comparison is. Tim Walz was not, at 18, imagining himself at the DNC giving a presidential speech. Yeah. And there are lots of people in politics who did. And again, no shade. I really mean that. But I think the quality you're identifying there is how distinct that is. Mm-hmm. That just was very clearly nowhere in the mind of 18, 22, 24-year-old.
He's the only public school teacher in our history who has made it onto a ticket. Lyndon Johnson taught public school for like a year and a half. But this is the real deal. And it's kind of extraordinary when you think about it. Of all the occupational tracks you could take in this country, and as long as we've had public education, this is the first public school teacher, the first real school teacher to end up on a national ticket. And you don't go into, 20 years of public school teaching with political ambitions. That's not where it begins.